Good afternoon. It is a profound blessing to gather in this sacred space where faith was preached with courage, where truth was spoken with love, and where Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. pastored a people into history. This sanctuary has always understood something essential, that faith is not meant to stay inside these walls. What is spoken here is meant to be lived out there. So my prayer today is that these words do not linger in this room, but move with us into our homes, our streets, and our communities. That they call us not only to remember, but to respond. Dr. King understood that remembrance without responsibility is empty. He never separated faith from responsibility. He never separated love from action. He taught us that the beloved community is not a slogan we admire, but a life we commit to through courage, discipline, and a deep moral obligation to one another. And standing here today in this sacred space, we are reminded history is not something we honor with our words alone. It is something we carry forward with our lives. For 20 years, I've had the privilege of working alongside the great Harry Belafonte, a man who took Dr. King's teachings seriously enough to treat them as an assignment. Mr. B, as we affectionately called him, did not believe in admiring Dr. King from a distance. He believed in continuing his work by standing with the vulnerable, challenging the systems of oppression, refusing to let comfort replace conscience, and showing up in radical solidarity. He insisted that every campaign, every mobilization, every act of leadership be grounded in Kingian nonviolence. He taught us that the moral leadership is not about comfort or convenience. It is about responsibility, and reminded us again and again that our work was not simply to resist injustice, but to build the beloved community his dear friend, Dr. King, envisioned. And the truth is this: every generation is given a moment when the values it celebrates are tested by the choices it makes. This is one of those moments. For generations, people have looked back on history and spoken with certainty about who they would have been or what they would have done. We say we would have stood on the right side of justice. We say we would have resisted oppression when it was unpopular, inconvenient, or dangerous. But history is not shaped by what we imagine we would have done. It is shaped by what we are willing to do now. We no longer have the luxury of placing ourselves in another time. The question before us is how we show up today, how we protect our neighbors, how we care for our children and our elderly, how we confront hatred in all its forms, and how we respond when fear is used as a tool to divide. This moment demands moral clarity. Dr. King warned us that a nation can lose its way, not all at once, but slowly, through indifference, silence, and the erosion of responsibility. He spoke of a spiritual sickness, a weakening of our collective conscience. Today, we see the signs of that sickness when conviction stops at expression, when what we believe never moves beyond what we say, when outrage replaces relationship, when we mistake posting on social media for participating in the hard work of change and words for the work itself. Dr. King taught us something deeper, that justice is built through connection, through sacrifice, through shared struggle. It is a way of life, one that shapes how we think, how we speak, and how we act towards one another. Dr. King gave us both principles to live by and steps to act upon, a moral framework and a practical path. Kingian nonviolence calls us to confront injustice honestly and directly, while refusing to surrender our humanity in the process. It asks us to resist violence in all its forms, physical, verbal, emotional, and spiritual, and to choose actions that heal rather than harden. The goal was never to defeat people, but to dismantle the systems of oppression and build the beloved community. This kind of nonviolence requires discipline and courage. It requires love strong enough to hold people accountable while still believing in their humanity. This is not abstract work. It is the work before all of us. Building the beloved community requires grounding our movements in nonviolence, preparing our communities and young people to lead with integrity, and examining even those we disagree with through the lens of reconciliation. Commitment to nonviolence goes far beyond quoting Dr. King. It is a daily practice. It is a discipline. It is a responsibility. And it is a responsibility that is always being witnessed. Our young people are watching us. Tonight, today, my children are watching me, Dom and Jay. They are learning how we respond to conflict, to disagreement, to fear. Violence may feel easy, believe me. Writing people off may feel justified. Nonviolence asks more of us. It asks us to slow down, to see one another fully, and to make sure that we continue to choose love even when it costs us. So today and throughout this week, we will hear Dr. King's words quoted. We will hear his dream invoked. The deeper question is, how are we fulfilling his unfinished assignment? How are we practicing his teachings in our homes, our communities? How are we preparing the next generation to lead? How are we choosing community over isolation and solidarity over silence? Dr. King believed in love, and not just any type of love, but that agape type of love. He believed that justice pursued with discipline and compassion could bend the arc of history. That belief is now in our hands. May we leave today committed to more than remembrance. May we leave ready to act. The beloved community remains possible if we choose it, if we practice it, if we live it. Thank you, and God bless.